Welcome back to AfriFreedom Channel, your home for honest, bold, and unapologetic commentary on Africa's most pressing political issues. If you're new here, do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a beat. Make sure to hit the notification bell for real-time updates on matters that impact our people. Today's discussion is not just another political commentary. It's a call for introspection, action, and most importantly, accountability. As we go through each point, we invite you to engage respectfully in the comments. Tell us what you think. What do these developments mean for our future as a continent, as communities, and as a people? Disclaimer. The views shared in this video are based on publicly available information, news commentary, and analysis. They are intended for educational and informational purposes only. AfriFreedom Channel does not promote hate speech or defamation and encourages respectful dialogue at all times. In a recent address, Julius Malema voiced strong opinions on KwaZulu-Natal's political landscape, the rise of the MK party, and former President Jacob Zuma's controversial return to the forefront of South African politics.
An assessment we made out of our own now direct interaction with the ground in KZN and the complaints we have been receiving from KZN led to the removal of the former deputy president and others. You know, to show you that there was something wrong that the deputy president was doing with other colleagues in KZN. Everything that was reported to us was extremely perfect. So they mastered the mechanism to meet the requirements, even if those things do not exist. There was a point where we wanted people to the stadium, to Moses Mabhida Stadium, and the numbers we received were extremely more than the numbers we received for votes. And that on its own just told us there's something wrong here. And then we did not intervene after. We intervened before. Unfortunately, we were very late. And that's why after we intervened, the SG was able to pull a mother of all matches before the elections in eThekwini. Because that time we're now reclaiming our organization and trying to reposition it. Unfortunately, we're out of time and we had to go to the elections. Me and President Zuma were very good. The same way me and President Ramaphosa were very good. But it doesn't stop me from saying he's corrupt. Because he is corrupt. By being good to you doesn't mean I must not tell you the truth. If you listen to my speech yesterday in the Gauteng General Assembly, I said, you must tell the truth even if telling the truth to a lover or your lifetime partner or your wife or your husband. If it is the truth, it must be told. President Zuma is corrupt. And it's not me. The public protector found him to be wrong. He rejected that. We took him to court. That's why he had to pay some monies back in relation to Nkandla. So what more do you want? What is misleading about that? Because it was not only me. The public protector came to the conclusion that there were wrongdoings in Nkandla. The Constitutional Court said yes, he must pay back the money. And we were singing in Parliament that he must pay back the money. But it doesn't mean I've got anything against him personally. I'm dealing with issues of principle. And if it means telling them to your wife when she's wrong or your husband, I'll also do the same thing. We have no relationship with MKP. And even worse now when MKP has made it its program to recruit leaders of the EFF. Tomorrow we are marching to the Constitutional Court with everyone except MKP. The MKP won't be part of our march. If they want to march, they must go and organize their own. But ATM and even ANC can't join us. It's our march. And any other person that has been opposed to Pala can join the EFF march tomorrow, starting from Mary Fitzgerald Square. At what time is it? 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Mary Fitzgerald Square, marching all the way to Constitutional Court. I don't know what's going to happen to you, CD, because you couldn't even walk here. There's small distance here. Imagine Mary Fitzgerald Square to to Constitutional Court. So your problems are too many this week. So we are marching there. Why? We are highlighting the corruption of President Cyril Ramaphosa and the corruption of the ANC. And we will never stop highlighting how corrupt and ANC is and President Ramaphosa, and that doesn't clean President Zuma. I've never said I have any problem with President Zuma. Even tomorrow or any other day I can go and have tea with him. But I don't agree with him. And I don't agree with him not only from this microphone point of view. I tell him 4 eyes that I don't agree. I'm that type of a leader. My problem in South African politics is that I'm not a pushover. No one can push me around. Not white monopoly capital, not a white person, not so much powerful leader can push me around. And I'm hated for that. That no one can push me over. That such someone from a poor background, so poor family and so poor everything, who is he to think he can defy us? But that's me and that's my nature. I don't care. I stick to principle. No one can push me over. Not in a marriage, not in my family, not in politics, not in the social circle. I'm no pushover. I'm not a pushover. And I'm not going to allow anyone to push me over because we've got some relationship. If my wife can't push me over, why would President Zuma push me over? For what? Why? What will I be begging from him? Which I did not beg from him when I was in the Youth League, when I was in the ANC. So it can't be that because we are being civil with President Zuma, therefore, when you are civil with him, you can't disagree with him. You must allow him to push you around, not me.
Malema, never one to mince words, questioned the legitimacy of Zuma's political maneuvering under the banner of MK, suggesting it's less about principle and more about personal protection from accountability. How did we get here, where a former president can reinvent himself as a revolutionary, despite his tarnished legacy? Is MK Party a genuine political alternative, or simply a vehicle for Zuma's self-preservation? And what does this say about the electorate in KZN? Are they driven by loyalty, desperation, or manipulation? Is Zuma a symptom of a larger political disease, where failed leaders keep returning to power masked as saviors? Within the economic freedom fighters, there's been a noticeable silence from Floyd Shivambu, Malema's longtime ally. His absence from public critique or commentary amid the EFF's declining support base raises eyebrows. While Malema remains vocal, Shivambu's low profile has led to speculation of internal discontent or strategic divergence. Are we witnessing a fracture within the EFF's leadership? Can a movement survive when its pillars begin to operate in isolation? Or is this silence a strategic retreat, an intentional pause while political currents shift? How much longer can the EFF maintain credibility as a revolutionary force when it, too, must answer difficult internal questions? South Africans are no longer whispering, they are demanding accountability from their leaders. From Jacob Zuma's corruption scandals to Ace Magashul's alleged misappropriation of funds, and Cyril Ramaphosa's Fela controversy, the trust deficit is at an all-time high. In a powerful online statement, the call was made directly to Julius Malema, it's time to make corrupt leaders answer for their actions. But will he? Is accountability in South Africa?
Spam lang Shalala, Mountain View. Manje isikhalo sami yilesi ukuthi njengoba for 31 years nje bebesitshela amanga. Angeke enze iminsi Babu Julius ukuthi ba account ngalamanga abasitshele wona for 21 years ngoba namanje bathi abatshontshanga mara bayazi ukuthi batshontshile imali ye-asbestos nase Estina mine laphana ngeke kwenzakale nasenzela icebo lokuthi when urepresent abantu useparlamente ungacabanga ukuthi uzimele wena thina sithume wena akusuyi inkosi yethu thina sithume wena under thina wena manje bengicela ukuthi akunaceba ngalenza na ukuthi ba account labantu abaseparlamente ngalamanga abawakhulumayo because mawukhuluma amanga you betray the voters abakuvotele wena manje ngeke asenzele icebo ukuthi they must account for that ngoba siningi into engayingazibala but ngenzela nje ukuthi sinikani chance la siningi kakhulu oTokyo sikhwale bathabelungu basiphethe kabi makasuka lapho uyochata uJudy lo mntathu umphethe kabi uyomchata uTokyo sikhwale uJudy uyozilalisa kayi1 le kule squatter camp esingale asisamazi manje uTokyo ukuthi ukuthini kubi ibamoshile basino empty promises manje ziningi into engazibala manje bese ngimenshina lezo if you kuphela ukuthi ngeke sisize ukuthi lamanga basitshele wona kumele ba account for thank you.
Africa only reserved for political enemies, or do we, as a nation, have the courage to hold all leaders accountable, even those we once revered? And what of President Ramaphosa? How can we speak of renewal when ethical clouds still hover over his presidency? Will we continue to tolerate a political elite that thrives on selective justice and performative morality? The critique of Tokyo Sexual is symbolic of a deeper contradiction within liberation movements. While claiming to speak against white oppression, Sexwell's personal choices, including marrying into white capital, raise fundamental questions about the authenticity of some struggle leaders. Does rhetoric lose its power when it's contradicted by personal choices? Can one truly be a voice for black liberation while entrenching themselves within the very systems they claim to oppose? Is the real issue not just the legacy of apartheid, but the failure of the post-apartheid elite to live up to the values they preached? When leaders speak of the people, yet live lives far removed from their reality, do they still represent us? This is not just about individuals. This is about a system that allows power to recycle itself, unchecked and unrepentant. From Zuma to Ramaphosa, from EFF's internal silence to MK Party's emergence, the picture is becoming clearer. South Africa is at a political crossroads. The question is, will the people finally choose accountability over loyalty? We urge you, our AfriFreedom community, speak your truth in the comments. Challenge us. Challenge each other. But do it with the respect that our shared struggle deserves. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We are just getting started. The revolution is not only televised, it's analyzed here on AfriFreedom Channel. Until next time, stay awake, stay informed, and never stop demanding better.